Okay, so what if I told you that your single biggest asset for building wealth isn't something you earn? It's actually something you're just given. I'm talking about time. And in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to turn that time into your own financial superpower. You've probably heard this quote before, right? It gets thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean? What's the big secret behind compounding, and why is it pretty much the ultimate secret weapon for a young investor? Well, we're going to break it all down. So here's our game plan. First, we'll dive into why time is your superpower by looking at the magic of compounding. Then we'll hit the first most crucial step, saving. After that, we'll talk about the big goal, what this is all for, financial independence. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a super simple action plan you can literally start today. All right, let's jump right into the heart of it. This first section really explains the single most important reason why starting your investment journey as early as you possibly can is a total game changer for your financial future. Okay, so think of it like this. You've got a tiny snowball. That's your first investment. Now, as you start rolling it down a hill, it picks up more snow, right? Those are your earnings. But here's where the magic happens. Pretty soon, the new snow on your snowball starts picking up even more snow. Your money isn't just growing, the growth itself starts growing. That, my friends, is compounding. That sounds cool in theory, but what does it look like with real numbers? Let's make this super tangible. Imagine you invest just 10,000 rupees, and let's say it gets a 5% return every year. Now, here's the key. You don't add another penny. You don't touch it, you just let it do its thing. Fast forward 20 years. That 10,000, it's now over 26,000. You've more than doubled your money without lifting a finger. That's the power of those reinvested earnings doing all the heavy lifting for you. Okay, doubling your money is cool, for sure. But you might be thinking, so what if I wait a few years? What's the real difference? Well, let me tell you, the price you pay for waiting, even just 1 decade, it's absolutely massive. Let's look at the numbers. All right, just look at this chart. This right here is the whole ball game. If you start investing $1,000 a year at age 20, by 65, you've got over $250,000. Not bad. But get this, if you wait just 10 years and start at 30, that final number gets sliced by more than half. You end up with just 127,000. Waiting that 1 decade costs you over 150 grand. Let that sink in. Every single year you wait has a huge invisible price tag. And this really drives the point home. Time is the rocket fuel for compounding. The more time you give it, the more powerful that engine gets, and the further it's going to take you. So we've seen how powerful compounding is, but here's the deal. You can't invest money you don't have, right? So before you can even think about using that superpower, you've got to master the one habit that makes it all possible, and that's saving. On the surface, saving is just, the money you don't spend, but it's way, way more than that. Think of it as the fuel for your investment engine. It's the raw material you need to build your entire financial future. Without it, that compounding engine we just talked about, it can't even get started. And this really gets at a crucial shift in your mindset. Wealthy people tend to focus their money on buying things that make them more money. We call those assets, like stocks or property. A more common mindset, though, is to focus on consumption, spending money on things that, frankly, lose value the second you buy them. The real goal here is to switch from a mindset of just spending to a mindset of owning. Okay, so we've got the saving habit down, and we understand the power of compounding. But what are we actually working towards? What's the end game here? For a lot of people, it's not just about getting rich. It's about getting free. And that brings us to this really cool modern movement called FIRE. It stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And the whole idea is that you stop working when your investments can pay for your lifestyle. Whether you're 65 or 45 or even 35, retirement suddenly becomes a financial number you hit, not just an age you turn. And the only way to hit that number early is by letting that compounding engine run for decades. And what's cool is that it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Some people go for what's called lean FIRE, living a more minimalist lifestyle. Others want fat FIRE, where they can maintain a pretty high standard of living. And then there's something called barista FIRE, which I think is pretty neat. You leave your main career, but you get a fun, low-stress part-time job to cover your daily bills, all while your big investments keep on growing. The whole point is, you get to design the life you want to live. Okay, theory time is over. We've covered the why, the what, and the what for. Now we get to the most important part, what you can do to get started, like right now. This is your simple, no excuses action plan. Look, you don't need some crazy complicated spreadsheet to get your finances in order. One of the best ways to start is with a super simple framework called the 50-30-20 rule. It's easy to remember, and it's incredibly effective. So here's how it breaks down. You take your after-tax income, and 50% of it goes to your needs. These are the must-haves, right? Rent, utilities, groceries. Then 30% goes to your wants. This is the fun stuff, hobbies, going out to eat, entertainment. And here's the most important part. A full 20% goes straight to savings and investments. That 20%, that's your future. And I really want you to remember this. It's not about having a ton of money to start with. It's just about starting and then being consistent. Those small, regular savings, when they're powered by time and compounding, are what eventually grow into something really, really substantial. So to put a bow on all of this, here's how you make it real. 4 steps. First, you gotta assess where you are right now. No judgment. Just get a clear picture of what's coming in and what's going out. You can't plan a trip if you don't know where you're starting from. Second, define your goals and be specific. Is it that FIRE lifestyle, a down payment on a house? Knowing why you're saving makes all the difference. Third, create a budget. Use the 50-30-20 rule. Tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it all went. And finally, number 4, execute. This is where the magic happens. Automate that 20% transfer. Open an investment account. You can start small, but the key is you have to start. All right, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. Number 1, compounding is your superpower, especially when you're young. Number 2, saving is not optional. It is the absolute foundation of building wealth. Number 3, the 50-30-20 rule is a ridiculously simple way to start managing your money. And finally, the whole point of this is to achieve financial freedom, whatever that looks like to you. And that brings us right back to where we started. Your most valuable asset. We've laid out the map, we've shown you the tools, and we've talked about the destination. That clock is always ticking, and you're spending your time second by second, whether you like it or not. So the only real question left is the one you see right here. How are you